another episode of Political Circuit on Niagen TV. I'm your host again, Adeus Oladiji Habib. It's a good, beautiful Wednesday morning from Niagen, our TV located at Ademulegun Akinjagona Junctions. This is where we give to you updates surrounding political atmosphere in the countries where we discuss happenings. And as you all know, it is time for 2023 general elections, and we are still on this same topic, presidential elections. But today we are shifting our focus to the PDP, which is People Democratic Parties. They just concluded their screenings, and so many aspirants have shown interest in jostling for this office come 2023. We have the former secretary to the government of federation, which is Ayim Pius Ayim. We have the former Senate president, which is Senator Bukola Saraki. We have the current governor of Rivers State, which is Nelson Wike. We also have the former Ekiti State governor, which is Ayodele Fayoshe. We have a lot of personalities in the People's Democratic Party. We have the former FCT minister, which is Bala Mohammed, also jostling for these positions. The present Sokoto State governor, Amin Waziri Tambuwal, who is also the former speaker of the House of Representatives. But today I will not be doing the justice all alone. But don't forget, let me just make this clear to you that come next month, Osun State election is knocking out the door. We would actually shift our focus to there just a little bit and talk more about Osun State. But today's main topic is 2023 presidential elections, PDP consensus, and the likes. But before then, let me take you on a swift break. Then I'll come back and bring my guest on board. Stay tuned. Political cycle, like I said, I'm going to bring a guest on board. He's a political analyst, a political strategist. He's a one-time student of Adeyemi Federal University of Education, but then it was Adeyemi College of Education. It's good to have today in the midst of every viewers at home, Babalola Adeniyi. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
It's a very good thing to have you on board today. Like I said to all my esteemed viewers at home, that we'll be discussing about the 2023 PDP consensus. And as we all know that it has always been a news going outside the world that PDP is going for a consensus candidate. But presently we have different, let me say, factions in PDP calling for this consensus. We have the Saraki factions, and Wike is said there can never be a consensus because it has always been in the PDP right from day one. He has never left PDP, not like the likes of Saraki and who have left for APC and came back to PDP. What can you say about this consensus of a team from PDP aspects?
I would like to start from here. About the just completed screening, at least we have 17 aspirants. Out of that 17, we have just only 15 that was screened in and qualified.
Two was disqualified.
So 2 was disqualified. So now David Mark, I mean the man that chairman the committee for the screening, he said the reason why they do or they screen out the 2 candidates is because of what? That their CV is complete, their documents are all complete, but because of loyalty, their financial stand, and other strength as well. So now when we are actually talking about PDP consensus, there is no way they can have consensus because now there are two things they are actually fighting on now, which is zoning. PDP, so we have with PDP now, we have some aspirants that are actually agitating like, okay, this thing should be zoned towards, to be zoned to south, in which we have strong candidates from northerners. So likes of Atiku, likes of Tambuwal, Bala Mohammed, Saraki himself. So now Saraki have to come on board and have to tell them that even if we are talking about consensus, let's forget about north and south. Now, since 1999 that Nigeria gets independent, we have not produced any presidential aspirant that is not central. And southeast as well. They've never produced anything like presidential aspirant. So Saraki is now saying it like, okay, even if he wants to do that, now let's make it like this. So that's why Saraki is the first person that came up with consensus
So idea.
Like, okay, fine, let's have a consensus candidate, in which, you know, Saraki is very brilliant. So Saraki,
he actually know what he wants to derive from the consensus.
Exactly. So you have to take his movement from Bala Mohammed. You have to who Bala Mohammed first, then you have to move to Tambua. Like, okay, let's bring ourselves together and let's have consensus. So in which Atiku Abubakar has already know what they are up to. As you can see, the way they are moving about, going to south, going to east, going to
Atiku is not part of them
at all, because he know where Saraki is actually driving to. So now they have to move to Wike. Okay, Wike, this is what we have on ground. Wike have to just think like consensus. Even if he wants to choose consensus, that means I personally myself, I'm even
part
okay.
Of it.
I'm even okay to do what to be a president. So you have to go against their consensus idea. Like no. I will also contest. In which so many people are now saying, okay, Wike is actually fighting for the post of vice president. So you have to come up again and say, no. I'm not fighting for the post of vice president.
I'm vying for the president.
So you have to like, okay, so moving around now, like, okay, I am campaigning, trying to who delegates, like, okay, fine, you people, you have to vote for me. I'm the best candidate, you know. During his campaign, see what he's saying. You have to be blackmailing other aspirants inside that same PDP. So he himself, he has already created a campus on his own. Going from one place to another, blackmailing another candidate from the same party.
Okay, don't you think that would dent the image of People's Democratic Party?
That is politics. Nigeria politics is all about propaganda. 2015, APC actually used propaganda and social media to do what? To defeat Jonathan. Likes of insecurity, corruption, and propaganda.
And we're still facing the insecurity now.
Exactly. So that is just it. Now, PDP now saying they want to have a consensus candidate. No. All aspirants who wants to believe they are popular.
They want to test their popularity.
Exactly. Look at Dele Muhammad.
Dele Muhammad.
Can he actually say, okay, well, this is the state, he can actually get this delegate from this state? No. But you have to just do what? You have to like, okay, I also want to throw myself out. Like, okay, I want to sell myself out. I want people to know me at least. Even if they want to come, they have to say, okay, former presidential aspirants. That is what they are actually vying for.
Everybody is after being popular.
So they will not want to do what they will not want to step down. And even if they want to step down, they're actually making a way for them to do what? To be relevant in politics. You know, when they later have a consensus, they can never have a consensus.
Let me take it to this angle. With the current situations PDP find them safe, do you still see them making it to the top, hijacking the structure from APC? Because if peradventures Wike is having his own caucus, Saraki is coming up with consensus, definitely there is no going to be any strike balance for them to strike APC.
If PDP actually wants to hijack this government back, number one, they have to come together, not bringing a consensus. They have to have a memo or an undertaking like, okay, fine, this primary will be free and fair, but anybody that wins, wins. Either highest bidder or no highest bidder. Anybody that wins, wins. If they can come together like that, fine, they will actually win. Because we have so many things in APC right now. And if PDP also wants to win, they should forget about zoning.
But it seems the zoning is now trending. Even APC on its own want to zone the presidency to the south.
APC is a ruling party. So ruling party, we have the what? They have the incumbency power. Like, okay, fine, this is what he wants to do. But the opposition party, they don't have to care about that. You know, look at Nigerian population now. The Northerners will always decide who will be the president.
Even presently, Atiku Abubakar said he has 14 million votes in his bag.
14 million votes that he cannot actually vote during 2020.
People are so surprised to see that.
That is it. You know, politician, that is what they will say. That is what they will actually say. Like, okay, you know, if I actually comes to you like, okay, you actually want to contest for president, don't worry, I promise you 2 million votes. In which I don't have more than my vote and my family votes. You get. So for Atiku now to come out and say he has 40 million votes, you know, you have to think about what he actually did last general election 2019. Like, okay, this is what he actually did. So he have already learned from his mistake. So you think maybe if he actually correct it, he will win. And if PDP, I would say it, if PDP is not actually taking any candidate. If they are not taking candidate from North, I don't see them winning.
Winning.
I don't see them winning.
Whereas at APC is set to take candidate from South.
Because they are the ruling
party.
Okay,
my people at home, if you are just joining on, this is Political Circuit on ION TV. We are discussing about the 2023 presidential elections. We are discussing about People's Democratic Party are placing to have a consensus candidate. With me here in studio today, it is Babalola Adeni. Okay, let's look at it from this angle. Okay. Aside consensus candidates, out of all these presidential aspirants in People's Democratic Party, who do you think could give APC a nightmare at the poll?
I have just only two candidates in mind. That is Atiku Abubakar and Tambuwal. And the reason I'm saying Tambuwal is because of his past record. Okay, now people are somehow tired of seeing Atiku coming up every year to contest and losing at the poll. Why are they not tired of seeing Buhari?
Do you still seeing him winning this coming election?
Why are they not tired of seeing Buhari then?
But Saraki will give him a very tight fight at the premier election.
Saraki himself even know that he has little of the delegates. When we are talking about Nigerian politics now has now been monetarized.
Definitely.
If you don't have this money, forget about it.
Even the general election, you need to sell your votes.
That is it. Because of what? Because of the poverty. Imagine delegates, they have to do what they have to be. They have to be demanding for money. Look at what happened in 2019 premier election. We had it like, okay, Atiku Abubakar have to give all these delegates hard currency before they can give the vote to him. So give and take. That is just it. So if Saraki is actually coming out like, okay, fine, he wants to do what? He wants to win the primary. When we are talking about delegates, we'll be talking about structure. And
definitely.
we have the governor. The governor owns each state structures. So who are we seeing with Saraki? Only Tambuwal, and Tambuwal himself wants to
become the president.
That is it. So who? At least this guy, Saraki is not even owning his state.
The state belongs to APC.
That is it. So who now wants to like, okay, Saraki, come here and we have to do what? We have to push you and we have to help you to become the president. Look at Atiku Abubakar now. At least he has nothing less than 4 to 5 PDP governors behind him. So with that, I think there's no way Saraki can actually give this man
Atiku a very nice man. Okay, now let's take it back to APC a little bit. Let's draw back to APC. Currently, APC has outlined the exact amounts for each post form. The presidential form has been put at the rate of 100 millions. We have some others. But the major questions that keep ringing in the bells of Nigerians is, why will ASU be on strike and the State Minister of Education will go and purchase a form of 100 million naira? And now this set of APC are clamoring that they want to end corruption. Will corruption end this way? And don't forget, we have Not Too Young to Road bill, which has been passed some past years. Will youth have the chance to become this president of this country one day?
Let me start from that Not Too Young to Road. That Not Too Young to Road, though, they know people will actually commit about like 100 million naira to purchase a form, 70 naira for declaring of ambition, and then 30 million naira for interest. Imagine. Now that is when they have to like, okay, youth, we are giving you 50% discount. 50% discount is how much? 50 million. I think a youth starts from maybe 18 to 39, 40, right?
Yes,
that
40.
Is it. Fine. Who among the youth can now bring out 50 million naira
to purchase a form?
50 million naira to purchase a form? Hell no. So I think maybe they ask the National Working Committee of APC, like, why do you peg these amounts at 100 million naira? They said they have to use it to organize the primary and do other strategies things for the general election. Just be like, this is too much. But they don't have any other choice. The man in question, that is Buhari himself. 2015, the form was 20 million naira. Am I right? 20
exactly.
million. Buhari have to come to national TV, start crying. like he did not have the money to purchase the form. People start contributing money for him, like, Buhari, we know your past record, you have to contribute money for him. Just 20 million naira. Now he's looking at them, bringing the money from 20 million naira to 100 million naira. Even likes of Oshibajo himself. I think Oshibajo declared his assets around 100 million naira or something like that before he became the vice president. Even if we see him purchasing the firm, we have to question him. Though we know Tinubu, bullion van, stuff like that. And then he still have so many political sons.
Yes, that presently they are holding a post.
That is it. So they can actually contribute to him, like, okay, fine. What about likes of Oshibajo, likes of Minister of Education, likes of Fayemi,
Amechi, and the likes.
And the likes. 100 million naira. That is what? That is too much. You know, they will have to do what? They have to hide under the umbrella of people gathered together to contribute money. And which is everything we actually understand it. They are all political. So, based on the question you asked, I don't see youths doing what's coming out. Now we have up to 8 aspirants, isn't it, for APC now?
Yes.
No youths. No youth has stepped out like, okay, fine, I want to do it. I want to contest just because of what? Just because of the amounts they peg the form. So I don't see youths coming out for now. I don't see any youths coming out for now.
Okay, that means the Not Too Young to Rule Bill, which was sponsored by the Saraki administration, is nothing to write home about. Even at the state levels, it is hard for us to see youths coming out, even at the state assembly levels, governorships, 50 million naira.
Just House of Assembly, 2 million naira. House of Assembly, how much is their sitting allowance? Look at the president as well. Buhari said we'll be taking 1.4 million naira a month. 1.4 million naira times even this thing for 4 years is 56 million. So are they now telling me that, okay, someone will purchase a form of 100 million naira and take 56 million naira at the end of everything?
So definitely we're still daggling around the corruption, because the moment I pay 100 million naira to purchase a form, definitely when I got there, I won't even remember ordinary citizen of the country, but I will after the money, how to get my money back into the purse. So now, if corruption still persists, should we say that APC has successfully scammed Nigerians are taking us to the next level?
I will not say APC scammed Nigeria about the corruption campaign, because I will not deceive you, corruption is everywhere. Even in the United States of America, there is corruption everywhere. Can you just imagine a white woman will meet you to just do a fake marriage with you for is that not $7,000 just for you to get your green passport? Is that not, what is that?
The corruption is everywhere.
That is it. Corruption is everywhere. But there is limits to corruption. So you now coming out and tell us that, okay, you want to eradicate corruption completely? Hell no. Though he tried his best by introducing what they call these payments, remitter, single account. Yes. So he tried to curb it. But what people around him will never allow it. You know, when we are talking about APC, when we are talking about president, it's not only him we are talking about. We are talking about what we are talking
set
about.
Of people.
That is it. It's cabinet. You know, it will not be the one to write the project and the budget for Commission of Education. It will not be the one to write the budget for transport.
Every parastatal needs to submit their budget.
That is it. And you have to just see it and just be like, I have to subject it to the House. For them to do what? For them to deliberate about it. Okay, either they will take it or not. So from there, that is when and that is where all these people will be doing what? Will be tapping out their money. And we have so many things. Like imagine you just hear monkey swallow 20 million naira.
That is so
Snake
funny.
swallow money. Imagine that kind of thing. Now they just concluded APC convention now for 3 million naira. They get lost. That is why they cannot even refund the money. You know, Buhari said they should refund the money back to those people that stepped down.
Exactly.
You understand? They are yet to refund it just because of what the money gets
Okay,
lost.
thank you for taking me to that side, because that's part of what I want to actually ask. Some people actually stepped down during the course of the national election of the Progressive Congress, and it was a bailout on consensus that, okay, let's give this person the chairman, we are giving you so positions. And in a situation like that, definitely we have people who got angry that, okay, Why will you ask someone to take over a post when it is we can actually contest for these seats? I have my delegates who can vote for me. Now, if some people actually step down, let me say forcefully step aside for some people to take over, now they fail to refund their money. Definitely, APC on its own is having an internal crisis which cannot be solved.
I won't say they were forcefully stepped down because I watched the convention live. So
We might not see what happened at the back screen.
At the back screen, fine. They have to come up the stage, hold the mic, and pronounce it themselves. Like, so, I'm stepping down for this reason. And just because of what? I buy the idea of consensus, how would I even call it? Consensus position. Like, okay, fine, you take this, Southwest take secretary, Southeast take this. You understand? I buy it just because of what? There's something we call fathers in politics. If we don't have fathers in politics, there will always be what? There will always be rancor.
Okay.
Even in our house, if we are brothers right now, there's no way we are living in the same house. We have issues.
But politics will always be politics.
Politics will always be politics. If you have issues, you have to take it to our father. Like, Daddy, this happened. You hear from me, you hear from me. From there, we just know you settle me. From there, we still become friends. That's just it. So if Buhari actually came up with the consensus idea just because of what he knew that if he actually threw everything open, there will be some aggrieved member that will leave the party.
Exactly, and some sects of our part of the north might actually take largest share because they have the highest stake in the party.
That is just it. So Buhari have to do what? Buhari have to call, before the
there was a meeting.
That is it. Meeting before meeting, and there will still be meeting inside that meeting again. Like, okay, fine, not take the German South, we're going to take the secretary. So there's something like that. If there's nothing like consensus for that APC National Working Committee, there will be break in the house. Like, we have aggrieved members.
And general election is coming up. They need to get their house at fame.
That is just it. So I like the idea. But now, they now see that President Buhari is actually trying, as we heard. I can say President Buhari, I will say the Kabas. We're talking about the Kabas. You know what the Kabas are?
Yes, definitely.
They are trying to bring a consensus candidate. Which is not so. No, it's not possible.
But if they can achieve a consensus candidate at the party level, can they achieve it at the presidential grant?
Because politics is a politics of interest. Let's forget about number. It's a politics of interest. Buhari himself said there's no way we don't have personal interest in someone. And if Buhari is having personal interest in someone, will Osinbajo agree? Will Tinubu himself will he agree? Will Amici agree? Because they will believe they are popular, most especially Tinubu. And I don't think Buhari will even go for Tinubu. I don't see Buhari going for Tinubu. You see Osinbajo coming out, you see Amici coming out. They depend on what? They depend on Buhari. If you hear them, if you hear Osinbajo supporters saying it, they will say, Buhari is supporting Osinbajo. If you hear Amici saying it, they will say, because Buhari made Amici
Minister
Turban for
Daura Castina. Yes.
Like, okay, that means he's supporting Amici. So Amici, go. That is just it. So we are expecting, we are waiting for President Muhammadu Buhari to just say, okay, well, this is my candidate. So once he says this is my candidate, now let's see what will happen again.
Okay, that takes me back on a journey as regards People's All Progressive Congress, which is APC. Presently we had Osinbajo also declared his interest to contest for the post of the president. Presently now, Tinubu also have these ambitions, and majority of people are saying Osinbajo is a betrayer, so forth like that. And now, don't forget, this Tinubu played a major role in making sure that President Muhammadu Buhari become a president in 2015. Now, if President Buhari is not pulling his weight behind Tinubu, don't you see that APC will collapse? To be reminded, we have like 3 parties that come up to form APC. We have CPC, we have ANPP, and the All Progressive Congress, which they march together. Now, Tinubu is showing interest. Let me say, should I call Osinbajo his political son? He's showing interest too. Now, who should President Buhari throw his weight behind?
I I said politics is a game of interest. You get. So Buhari will have his own reason for not supporting Tinubu if he's not supporting Tinubu. You know, they actually had a meeting yesterday, indoor meeting, in which they did not even reveal to anybody.
Yes, and
so,
Tinubu was present at the House of Villa yesterday.
Exactly. So if you could remember, during Channel's chats with Buhari, they asked him, "Who is your candidate?" Buhari said, "I have interest in someone, but I will not reveal the person just because of what? If you reveal the person, they might eliminate the person. Eliminate the person. Who can that be? Can it be? It can never be Tinubu. Who wants to eliminate Tinubu? It can never be Vice President
Tinubu is Jagaban.
Jagaban himself. They can never eliminate Oshibajo, the Vice President. They can never eliminate. I can't say about Amechi, Minister of Transport. Because I could see that after the convention, they said Amechi's security was doubled. Like it was doubled far back as before. I'm just like, what is going on? So now, if Buhari can be saying that, I don't think it will be Tinubu. And if he's not throwing his support behind Tinubu and he's throwing his support behind either Oshibajo or Amechi, I won't deceive you. I won't deceive you. I won't deceive you. I won't deceive you. APC might break. Just because of what? Tinubu made mention of something. He said, "This is my lifetime ambition," and he knows if he's not contesting,
has been nursing the ambition since.
So if he's not contesting this year again, he can never contest again just because of what? The
age factors.
That is just it. So Tinubu himself will do everything possible. And Tinubu, as I'm looking at Tinubu has prepared for this thing right from 2003.
When he left office.
That is it. Not even before he left office, when he was even in the office.
You know,
that was when we have President Obasanjo. Obasanjo actually take every state from either APC or ACN or CPC or from only Lagos State.
Oh,
and he have to deal with Tinubu by not giving him his allocation. He wants Tinubu to actually come to no. So Tinubu has been building his empire since 2003. Now he left the office 2007. He still continues. So you now see that if he continue like this, they bring up Ribadu then, ACN, Ribadu. So he now think if he continue like this, he will never achieve his aim. That is why you have to just bring up the idea of bringing CPC, ACN, and ANPP together. Because you know that Northerners are the factors in this presidential election. So you have to make them, Buhari have to buy the idea. Buhari cannot go to ACN, ANPP cannot come to ACN. Tinubu himself cannot leave ACN and go to CPC or ANPP. Now, like, okay, fine. Now let's form another party. And I think Obasanjo bring this idea. Obasanjo said something there. He said PDP will continue ruling for 50 years. Yes. Only if they come together to do what? To defeat. So Obasanjo actually do what?
They have to form the new house.
That is it. And I think during that time, 2015, when they actually formed that party, they actually said they are giving it to what? To the North. So there will be a verbal agreement like, okay, after North, we are bringing it back to South. If you could see, then all the people that contested for the post of the president at APC level, they are all Northerners. So there will be a verbal agreement. If Buhari now comes out now and say, okay, he's not supporting Tinubu, well, all fine and good. That is politics. In 2019, we don't even expect Tinubu to even support Buhari, but they do what? They still have to come back to the round table and do what? And sort things out. Okay, fine, this is what happened, this is what happened.
As at that time, people were even behind Tinubu that, okay, Tinubu has an ambition.
That is it. If Oshibajo has been showing interest since then, I'm telling you, they will substitute Oshibajo then. Not to become the president, not to become the vice president.
Even something actually surprised Nigerians that, okay, two things surprised Nigerians, let me put it that way. Before Oshibajo declared his interest for presidential elections, he first actually have to shift his, his voters registration from Lagos down to Ogun State, because we had an intel which says that if peradventure he failed to do that, he might be suspended from Lagos APC. And secondly, he did not declare his presidential ambitions at Aso Villa. He did that at Ogun State, at former President Olusegun Obasanjo's house. So now it shows like there is something behind all these things? It seems presidency is trying to play some games with Tinubu, which might affect the relationship between Tinubu and Osibajo.
Yeah, the thing is, they are actually trying to bring a sympathy vote for Osibajo, for the statement of he might be suspended if he still have his voters card
in Lagos State.
2019, he lost his polling units and lost this one. 2019, the vice president. So now they have to tell him like, okay, fine. This part of Lagos, we know we have Igbos in some parts
of Lagos.
State. So that is where Osibajo belongs to. So stop disgracing yourself. Don't even try to do what again to bring your voters registration here. So they have to do what they have to bring it back to. Even the Lagos State APC chairman have to advise him. Okay, bring it down to Ogun State. So I don't think Tinubu himself can play that kind of dirty politics by suspending Osibajo just because he declared.
You know, we've seen cases like that in the APC. Adams Oshiomhole was suspended from his own ward, a sitting national chairman of APC.
Fine, it's happened. That is what people used to do, was to guess that, okay, this is what will happen for Osibajo. So that is why they have to advise him like, okay, run for your life. So I don't see Tinubu playing that kind of dirty politics. That is too childish. Even if they suspend him as the APC from APC member, he will still remain as the vice president. So before we know it, we have to do what? We have to transfer his card. So I don't see that one is just.
Him too might have tried and decided to play on the silver side, not to fall victim of what happens to Atiku when he was the vice president there. You know, Atiku, at times, they did not allow him in the PDP then, as being a sitting vice president. If you are just joining us, this is Political Circuit. Once again, we've been discussing about the 2023 presidency, PDP consensus with touchdowns to APC presidential candidates. And we are still on the topic, 2023 presidency. To my guest, and now I want us to discuss about two regions, which is the North and the South. Now, if APC is giving these things to the South, which we have, let me say we have Tinubu and Osibajo as the front runners of this ticket. Let's put an Amechi, because Amechi is saying it's also from South. Now, PDP is ready to give it to the North, unless Wike fight tooth and nail with them. If it happens like this, who do you think we have the edge to become the president between these two regions?
As I said earlier, Northerners will always decide our fate.
Don't forget, Wike is no more a Northerner.
That is it. See what happened in 1999 when we have Olusegun Obasanjo and Olufalaye. Who bring in Olusegun Obasanjo? The Northerners.
And when we have even the two Souths contesting.
That is it. So the Northerners actually bring in Olusegun Obasanjo. So now we are talking about APC, they are the ruling party. So they still have the incumbent power. PDP, they are not the ruling party. They actually want to hijack it.
Jonathan also has the incumbent power then, but he lost.
Just because of what? It's from Buhari is from North, and that is the reason why. That is the reason why APC then, namely APC, then they have to do what they have to say. Okay, fine, let's give it to the North, just to hijack the power. So PDP now should be thinking about that. That's right now. Like, okay, let's give it to the North, because as they do say, Yoruba do say something like, so if the Northerners are actually seeing their son contesting for the post of president, which is maybe Atiku or Tambuwa, they actually want to throw their support for him. You get it? But APC, they are the ruling party, and we have many APC governors in the North that can actually work for APC. But PDP, they are few.
Yeah, we have a few being an opposition party presently.
So to me, APC will surely give their tickets to the South, and PDP will give it to the North. We will just only talk. Even if you can see Fayose, because I'm looking at Fayose will even support him.
At a point in time, these got me carried away. Even Bala Mohammed said something. that he might support Tinubu when he's even jostling for president from PDP. Same thing, Fayose said he will be happy if this thing goes to the south. There was a time he tried his support for Wike. Now he's even having the presidential form on his hand.
They all want to be political
relevance. Let's say politically relevant.
That's just it.
Wow, that's beautiful. We've been discussing about 2023 presidency, and my guests have made justice to some questions we've discussed here. But let's touch down to Osun State, because our time has already fast spent on this segment. But we need to touch down from Osun State because my guest is also from Osun State. I'll still be discussing about PDPs in Osun State. PDP is having two factions in Osun State presently. We have Delike faction and the Desman factions. Is PDP ready to take government for Gboyega Oyetola?
There's nothing like two factions again in PDP.
Okay.
So they've all come together and choose Adeleke
as the candidate, because there was a time INEC relates the names of gubernatorial candidates out, but there's still a case in courts.
I don't think they will stay further with the case. I don't think Baba Yemi will stay further with the case. I don't think so, because if they are having faction in that same party, they can never hijack this government from APC if they want to. That is just it. If they want to hijack it, so there's no faction in.
Okay, right now we have PDP and APC. Is PDP really serious from taking government from Gboyega Oyetola? Don't forget, we have Oyetola had a landmark achievement in Osun State presently.
PDP, I would say they are serious. Even ACC said they are even serious about it to even hijack the government. ACC that, you know, even YPP, they are also serious to hijack the government.
Serious.
That is it. So all parties, they are all serious to hijack it. So now, but the thing is, I'm actually afraid of Omishori.
Now, the National Secretary of APC.
The National Secretary of APC. You know, either we like it or not, Omishori owns Ife. Let's forget about it. Because if you can remember the last Osun general election,
which resulted in inconclusive.
They have to meet with Omishori. Omishori, you are the only one that can do what can win this election for us.
Okay, I could recollect Fayemi come down from Ekiti.
That is it. To just talk to Omishori. So now, if Oyetola is having Omishori behind him, solidly behind him, I don't think PDP can actually take this thing from APC. I don't think so. But if they try their best, I think they will still do something about it. You know what is actually happening between Aregbesola and Oyetola now is still giving us concern about it. If Aregbesola and Oyetola is not having any issue, PDP should just forget about it.
Okay, but there was a time the immediate Alaafin Oyo called Aregbesola and Tinubu to a closed-door meeting. I think everything should have been settled by now.
You know, this is politics. Baba only called them based on, you are from South, you are from South. You people, we know you from what? From this trash. Yes. So why will you now be doing this thing to yourself? You know, Jagaban himself will be doing like Jagaban. And Aregbesola himself will be doing like 2 times governor and present minister. So I don't think there will be, though I actually like Tinubu for something. Tinubu has a heart of forgiveness, no matter what. Look at Obanikoro, look at Omishori. So I see him as someone that has heart of forgiveness. So
definitely, if he loses the premier elections tickets to Osibajo, he has an act of forgiveness.
He will never forgive Osibajo. You know, Osibajo will be the first person to stand against Tinubu in Southwest. Now we are seeing Fayemi, we will be seeing that also very soon now. Osibajo is the first to tackle Tinubu in the Southwest. So I don't see him forgiving Osibajo if he lose this presidential this thing to Osibajo. No, he can never. Because it will just be like, you betray him. Because Buhari himself have to call Tinubu, if you are not becoming my vice president, you have to produce someone. See what actually happens to Ribadu in 2015. ACN actually produced Ribadu, and Tinubu actually work for Jonathan. So Buhari himself have to think like, okay, maybe Tinubu wants to dribble him. So you have to like, okay, yeah, bring someone. You know,
As the vice.
that is as the vice president. Tinubu have to look around. Who can I produce that cannot betray me? This man is a pastor. This man is this. Is gentle.
He's a
He's
son,
a son. Is everything.
and the likes.
You understand? So we are just like, okay, fine. Let's produce him as the vice president. In which Osibajo have to come on board now. You know, as they do say, Iliola Mandu. So he has already tested it, and he has seen what is going on. Like, no. I will also vie for this thing. That's just it.
Well, definitely we've done beautiful well on political circuit for today because our time is already fast spent. Another program will be coming on board. It seemed like I shouldn't end this segment for today. And I'm pretty sure my guest is somehow enjoying this moment. And I'm pretty sure when next I bring it on board, you'll definitely heed to my call. Once again, this is Political Circuit on Iogen TV. We've been discussing about 2023 presidential elections, PDP, APC, the chance of every candidate to make it to the general elections. But then times will tell us Osibajo is now standing in front of Tinubu. Whether it is Tinubu, whether it is Osibajo's, let's look out to May 31st when the premier election of APC will come on board. But before then, a word to our esteemed viewers at home.
I'm really happy to come here to actually talk to you people. And I'm actually happy for you giving me this kind of opportunity, this kind of time to just come here and just express myself about these political matters in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
And it's nice having you on board. Till next week that I will still come your way, I'm Adeus Oladijabi. Stay tuned on Iogen TV.